Join the Monsterboy Roc. Boom.
Hi, my name is Monsterboy Roc and welcome to the show. As you've probably guessed by now, I love making comics. I love creating art and making up silly little stories with silly little characters going on silly little adventures and sharing them with all of you. Now, throughout the past 6 years or so, I've been fortunate enough to create many comics on my own accord, but I've also managed to create many comics for many challenges hosted by many of my art friends. And yes, I'm aware I might be saying many too many times, but I digress. Now, like I was saying, I have participated in several different challenges. However, as you probably already know, there is one challenge that I've been participating in each and every year that has really been a big help in getting those creative juices flowing inside of me. It was the first challenge I've ever participated in ever since I started making content here back in 2017. It's a little challenge called Inktober. Now you know what Inktober is, don't you? Well, in case you don't, Inktober is a yearly event in which you create a series of traditionally drawn art pieces entirely with ink with the help of a series of prompt words. And you do this challenge all throughout the month of October. That's 31 days, 31 prompt words, 31 drawings. Or in my case, 31 comics. Now, this is my 6th consecutive Inktober, and you're going to be seeing the drawing processes of all 31 of my Inktober comics for this year in this special edition video of Drawing with Monsterboy Roc. And as usual, I am joined by Sir Seymour, the Inktober skeleton assistant, who is going to be reading each and every one of the comics after I finish making them. Hello, Sir Seymour.
Greetings, Roc, and greetings to all of you, citizens. I've been looking forward to this event all year long.
Same here, Sir Seymour, and I'm all prepared to create some brand new comics for this year's event. However, this year's event is going to be a little bit different compared to the other years.
How so, Roc?
Well, in all of the previous years I did this challenge, I used characters from my passion project, The Secret Beauty. But for this year's challenge, I decided to spice things up by adding some other characters to put in the spotlight. And appropriately enough, those characters are going to be Wilma the Witch and her little kitty companion, Carl. Indeed. Well, without any further ado, I think it's time we get started.
I wholeheartedly agree, Roc. I'm all ready to get reading.
And I'm all ready to get drawing. I've written down all of my ideas for all 31 comics that I'm going to be drawing based off of all 31 of the official Inktober prompt words for this year's event. I've also got myself plenty of sketchbook paper to draw on and also plenty of pigment liner pens to draw with. Yep, it looks like I'm all set to get started. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Let's get started with Drawing with Monsterboy Roc Inktober 2023 edition. Shall we? Alright, we begin with prompt word number 1, dream. And for this first comic, I'm going to be drawing a comic in which Carl is having a dream about having wings and flying across the sky.
Aw, Carl is already fast asleep. I wonder if he's dreaming about anything. Wow, I can't believe it. I'm flying. I'm actually flying on my own without Wilma and her broom. This is so cool.
For the second prompt word, spiders, I'm going to do a comic in which Wilma is given 5 fuzzy little black spiders by her friend, Jennifer.
Hey there, Wilma, what you got over here? Oh, Carl! My gal pal Jennifer brought over these precious little pet spiders for us. She says these spiders will help us get in the Halloween spirit. Oh yeah, because spending all of yesterday painting the outside of our house orange and black clearly wasn't enough. No, it was not.
Now for Path, I'm going to do a story in which Wilma and Carl are walking down a very long path to get home after Wilma accidentally breaks her flying broom.
Wilma, I'm bored. When are we going to get home? When we reach the very end of this path, Carl. And I don't know why you're complaining. I'm the one who has to use their legs to walk all the way home because I snapped our broom like a twig. Well, maybe next time you'll try not to fly directly into a tree. Oh yeah, Carl, like I flew into that tree on purpose. Well, let's not say any more about it. At least we're getting plenty of good exercise. Well, I'm getting plenty anyway.
For the next prompt word, dodge, I'm going to do a story in which Wilma and Carl are taking a different walk compared to the last comic. And on their walk, a duck almost smacks into Carl. But luckily, he dodges the duck.
Whoa, did you see that? That duck almost smacked right into me. It's a good thing I dodged it. You mean it's a good thing you ducked? Wilma, I'm being serious. I could have died. You're right, Carl, you would have died. From laughter, because I am a comedic genius. Is it too late to put me up for adoption?
We've now reached the fifth prompt word for this event, and the word is map. For this comic, I'm going to draw Wilma and Carl heading towards Jennifer's house, and they're consulting a map to get there.
Wilma, are you sure you know the way to Jennifer's house? Yes, Carl, I know how to read a map. And try to be on your best behavior, please. Jennifer says that she's going to have a big surprise for us when we get there. Really? A surprise? Alright, I'll behave. I do love her surprises after all.
For prompt word number 6, Golden, I'm going to do a continuation of the last comic. For this one, Wilma and Carl have finally arrived at Jennifer's house for their big surprise that Jennifer is going to give them. And that big surprise happens to be brand new, fancy, golden colored clothes.
Oh my gosh, Jennifer, I love this new golden colored dress. Thank you so much for giving it to me. You're very welcome, Wilma. And Carl, you look so cute in that new little golden tux. Cute? Cute? Excuse me, Jen, but I think I look so much more than just cute. I happen to look like a positively distinguished and elegant little gentle cat. Thank you very much.
It's day number 7, which means it's time for prompt word number 7, drip. And in this comic, Wilma brings a raindrop from outside inside to show Carl. But the raindrop begins to drip all over him.
Carl, look! I used my wand to grab a single raindrop from outside, and I carried it all the way inside. That's great, Wilma, but could you maybe not let it hover over me? Your drop is starting to drip.
Toad begins week number 2 of Prompt Words for Inktober 2023, and for this comic, Wilma accidentally turns her little kitty companion into her little toady companion. Yeah, I know I'm not funny.
Wilma, you turned me into a toad! Why would you turn me into an icky, slimy, ugly little toad? I'm sorry, Carl. I didn't mean to turn you into an icky, slimy, ugly little toad. I guess I just did the spell wrong is all. You? Doing a spell wrong? Well, that isn't the understatement of the millennium.
Let's bounce on into day number 9 with the Prompt Word Bounce. And in this comic, Carl and Tia are having a sleepover at Wilma's house, and they are bouncing on top of Wilma's bed, much to Wilma's annoyance.
Carl, you better have a good reason as to why you and T are bouncing on top of my bed. We're bouncing on top of your bed because it's fun! You do realize that reason doesn't satisfy me in the slightest. Who says we care, Wilma? Whoop!
And now we've reached prompt word number 10. And for this prompt word, fortune, I'm going to do a story in which Wilma and Carl find a pot of gold lying around. And Carl decides to steal one of the gold coins in the pot.
Carl, if I were you, I would put that gold coin back in that pot right now. Why should I? We found that pot of gold fair and square. But you don't know if this pot of gold already belongs to someone. It might belong to a leprechaun. And you know how a leprechaun feels when people try to steal their pot of gold. I'm not stealing the whole pot, Wilma. I'm just taking one measly little gold coin out of it. Besides, who says this pot of gold even belongs to a leprechaun anyway? And even if it did, I'm sure they're not going to miss one stupid gold coin out of probably thousands of coins that are still in there. Maybe you're right, Carl. Of course I am, because I am a very clever little cat.
Prompt word number 11 is wander. And for this comic, Jennifer and Tia take the spotlight. In this story, Tia wanders off in the forest, and Jennifer goes looking for her.
Tia! Where are you? Tia! Oh, where did that silly dog wander off to? I hope I find her soon. I know how much she hates to be left all by herself. She's probably so scared. Yay, butterflies!
Spicy is next, and for this Wilma and Carl comic, I'm gonna do a story in which Carl eats the hottest, spiciest peppers in all of Witchville.
Carl, no! Don't eat those peppers! Those are Witchakuka peppers! They're the hottest, spiciest peppers in all of Witchville! Gee, thanks for the warning, Wilma. Oh, and thanks a lot for putting them right out in the open where I could easily get to them. Really appreciate it.
The 13th prompt word is rise. And for this story, Wilma is going to use her magic wand to do a spell that causes Carl to rise off of the ground.
Wilma, why are you lifting me up with your wand? Well, Carl, remember a couple weeks ago you told me about your dream of flying without the help of my broom? Yeah. Well, I decided to help you fulfill your dream because I want you to be a happy little kitty. Wilma, that's very sweet of you, and don't think I don't appreciate it, but whenever your magic wand gets involved, your good intentions always end in catastrophe.
Okay, now it's time for prompt word number 14, which is castle. And for this comic, Wilma transforms her house into a gigantic castle. It's as simple as that.
Wilma, did you turn our house into a castle? That's correct, my little kitty companion. I'm thinking of dressing up as a beautiful princess for Halloween this year. And a beautiful princess needs an equally beautiful castle to live in. Wouldn't you agree? Well, I guess that does make a little bit of sense. But does this make me the handsome prince? Or the ugly hairy old troll that's locked up in the dungeon? Do you really want to know the answer, Carl? No.
For the 15th prompt word, dagger, I'm gonna do a story starring Carl and Tia, in which Tia is digging outside in the ground. And in the hole that she has dug up, she finds a dagger.
Whoa, Tia! Be careful down there! That's an old dagger you've just dug up, and they're very, very sharp! Woof, woof! No, Tia, you don't use a dagger to cut food with. Sheesh!
We've now reached the halfway point of this year's Inktober with this next prompt word, angel. And for this comic, Wilma's friend Jennifer comes over wearing a Halloween costume that she is deciding whether or not to wear for Halloween. And that costume happens to be a costume of an angel.
Jennifer, why are you dressed up like an angel? Well, I'm thinking about going as an angel for Halloween this year, but I'm not quite sure yet. Well, I think you make an adorable little angel, Jen. Besides, you're always so kind and sweet to everybody that you basically already are one.
And now for the next prompt word, demon, I'm gonna do a story in which a demon appears in Wilma and Carl's house and wants to possess Wilma's soul.
Rah! I've come from the underworld to possess a witch's soul, and you will do just fine. Yeah, listen, could you maybe wait on that for like half an hour? I have a pie in the oven.
And now we have Saddle. And for this story, Wilma makes the decision to try horseback riding thanks to a saddle that she won in a raffle.
Well, are you sure you want to do this? Yes, Carl, I'm going to try out horseback riding. It might be fun. I'll get to feel the wind blowing through my hair. I'll get to listen to the soothing clip-clopping sound of a horse's hooves as it runs freely. And most importantly, I'll get some use out of this saddle I won at the Litchville Funfair raffle. I still think you should have just traded in that saddle in exchange for that cruise they were raffling off. Carl, I don't think you quite understand the difference between the value of a cruise and the value of a stupid, worthless saddle.
And now for the 19th prompt word, plump, I'm gonna do a story in which Wilma bakes a pie with very plump berries that Carl enjoys. In fact, Carl enjoys it so much that he is starting to look rather plump as well.
Carl, that's the 6th slice of pie you've eaten. You might want to slow down. You're starting to look rather plump in the belly area. Well, you did make this deliciously juicy triple berry pie with the plumpest of all berries, Wilma. So is it really my fault?
Now it's time to draw the comic for the 20th prompt word for Inktober, and that prompt word is frost. For this story, it is a very, very cold day in Witchville. In fact, it is so cold that frost begins to form on the window of Wilma and Carl's house.
Boy, it sure is a cold one today, isn't it? I mean, just look at our window. It's already getting covered with frost. I don't know what you're complaining about. I don't feel cold at all. In fact, I'm feeling quite warm and toasty if I do say so myself. That's because you have fur to keep you warm. I don't. Thanks for rubbing it in my face, Carl. Hey, it's my pleasure, buddy.
Chains is the next prompt word, and for this story, Wilma's friend Jennifer shows Wilma her brand new chain necklace. But is it really brand new?
Jennifer, is that a new chain necklace you have on? It looks very nice on you. Thanks, Wilma, but actually this necklace belonged to my grandmother. She gave it to me before she passed away. I like to wear it sometimes, so it feels like I'll always have a part of her with me. Gee, I think my allergies are starting to act up a little.
For the 22nd prompt word, Scratchy, I'm going to do a story in which Wilma's best friend Jennifer gives her dog Tia a brand new hat. Unfortunately, this brand new hat is so uncomfortable on Tia that it causes her to scratch profusely.
Jennifer, I don't think Tia likes that new hat you bought her very much. I think you're right, Wilma. I've never seen Tia scratch herself this much. I guess we better go return it. Could you hand me the receipt, please? I thought you had it. Uh-oh.
The 23rd prompt word is Celestial, and for this Wilma and Carl story, they are up in outer space, and Wilma is admiring the stars in the galaxy. Carl, on the other hand, well, he's not.
Just look at all of these stars, my little kitty companion. They're so incredible. They're so majestic. They're so dang bright. Too bright, if you ask me. Some little kittens just don't appreciate the finer things in life.
We're down to 1 week for Inktober 2023, and for the next prompt word, Shallow, I'm going to do a story in which Wilma and Carl are walking through a forest and they have to cross a shallow stream, but Carl is hesitant to do so.
Come on, Carl, hurry up. No, Wilma, I am not walking through the stream. I could drown. Carl, look down at my feet. This stream has to be no more than 5 inches deep. I think he'll survive. Wilma, you do realize that witches are like 20 times the size of us cats, right? Yes, and clearly witches have 20 times the courage of you cats.
Dangerous is next, and for this comic, I'm gonna do a story in which Wilma is doing something very, very dangerous, and Carl, of course, is very, very afraid for her safety.
Wilma, I wouldn't stand on your broom if I were you. We're flying directly over a humongous chasm right now. If you fall off, you're going to be deader than dead. Oh, Carl, you need to stop being such a fraidy cat and try to do what I do. You need to stand up, look at the world around you, take a deep breath, and take chances every now and then. That's what makes life worth living. I know my life is worth living. That's why I'm not doing any of the crazy stunts you're doing. To each his own, I guess.
And now we have the 26th prompt word for Inktober 2023, and that prompt word is remove. And for this comic, Jennifer got a scrape on her arm, but when she removes the bandage, she finds that the scrape has fully healed.
Well, look at that, Tia. The scrape I got the other day is healed up. I guess I can get rid of this bandage now. Isn't that right, girl?
There's only 5 more prompt words in this event, so let's continue on with it with the 27th prompt word, beast. And in this comic, Wilma turns Carl into a gigantic, hairy, scary, ferocious looking beast that he is going to go as for Halloween.
Well, Carl, you said you wanted to be a hairy, scary beast for Halloween this year. So, what do you think? Very nice, Wilma. I'm actually impressed for once. Now when all the trick-or-treaters come to our house, I'll be able to scare them all away. Carl, you shouldn't do that. They're only kids. But Wilma, if we scare all the trick-or-treaters away, that means we'll have more candy left over for ourselves. Carl, that's the greatest idea you've ever had, actually. Why didn't I think of that?
And now for the 28th prompt word, sparkle, I'm going to do a story in which Wilma buys a brand new sparkly dress for her friend Jennifer.
Hey Carl, what do you think of this new dress I bought for Jennifer? Do you think she'll like it? Oh yes, Wilma, I'm sure she'll love that new dress. You know, once her vision comes back. Good grief, that is next level brightness.
With only 3 prompt words left, the next one is massive. And in this comic, Wilma and Carl get a massively massive pumpkin just for Halloween.
Whoa, Wilma, that has got to be the biggest pumpkin I've ever laid my eyes on. I don't think there's another one this big in all of Witchville. I know, Jen. I'm so happy I found it. Although I still haven't quite figured out what the heck I'm going to do with it after Halloween has passed. Why, bake it into the world's biggest slice of pumpkin pie, of course.
It's time for the penultimate prompt word, and that prompt word is rush. For this comic, Wilma is flying home on her broom in a hurry with some Halloween candy that she bought for the trick-or-treaters for Halloween, and Carl is hanging on to her broom for dear life.
Wilma, please slow down! I can't, Carl. Halloween is tomorrow, and I still haven't finished getting all of the candy for the trick-or-treaters. And if I don't hurry, it'll all be gone. But didn't you already buy like 20 bags of candy? 20? I thought I had 30. Oh, now I really have to get a move on.
The very last prompt word for Inktober 2023 is fire. And for this final comic, Wilma, Carl, Jennifer, and Tia are spending the final night of the month outside in the backyard with a nice warm campfire.
Well, Halloween is over, all the candy has been given out, and now we can just sit back and enjoy this lovely little campfire for the rest of the night. Yeah, this is so nice. I'm so happy that Tia and I are getting to spend this time with you guys. This month has been so wonderful. You know, this may come as a surprise to you two, but if I somehow had to redo this whole entire month over again, I wouldn't change a thing about it. Woof! Woof!
Well, my friends, that wraps up Drawing with Monsterboy Roc Inktober 2023 edition, in which I have once again successfully created 31 brand new comics using all 31 of the official Inktober prompt words for this year's event. I hope you enjoyed all of these comics, and I also hope you enjoyed this video because I had a lot of fun making it myself.
And don't forget, citizens, you can read all of these comics anytime you want. Just go over to Instagram.com/TheSecretBDDrawings, Facebook.com/TheSecretBDDrawing, or Twitter.com/SecretBDArt. The links to all three of these websites will be in the description down below.
That's right, Seymour. But if you want to hear me read the comics, just like Sir Seymour did in this video, then I did a complete series of read-along shorts for all 31 of the Inktober comics over on my read-along YouTube channel, Rockin' Read-Alongs. And if you want to check them out there, I'll put a link to the channel in the description down below as well. But with that, my friends, that brings us to the end of another Inktober video. And I'll do my very best to participate again next year. I bet you'll be looking forward to that, right, Seymour?
Oh, you bet I will, Roc. I'll be counting down the days until next October comes around.
Well, until then, I still have another event that I'm participating in this year, and that is my 4th edition of Inktober 52 videos. And I have another one of those videos coming up, so stay tuned for that. But if you haven't seen the last Inktober 52 video that I did, I'm going to put the link to that in the description too. Also, please be sure to subscribe to both this channel and my read-along channel so you'll be notified for whenever I make a video. And I have a playlist called Drawing with Monsterboy Roc in which you can view all of my previous episodes, and you might be able to see my previous Inktober videos there as well. With that, my friends, thank you so much for watching this special edition of Drawing with Monsterboy Roc.
And as always, dear citizens, we wish you a very, very nice day.
Indeed we do, Sir Seymour. Indeed we do. Take care now.